West Ham will be looking to make it back-to-back wins in the Premier League when we head to Turf Moor on Sunday afternoon to take on Burnley. West Ham are fourth in the table, recorded a 3-2 victory against Chelsea in the league last weekend, while Burnley will enter the contest on the back of a 1-0 loss to Newcastle United. Welcome back to the West Ham Network. I'm Anton, joined by Stato Matt. Matt, how you doing, mate?
No, not bad, not bad. Yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Burnley, how you feeling?
I don't know. I want to sit there and say I'm confident. However, I feel like I say this quite a few times, like recently, that it's a bogey team.
I feel like you've become a right miserable old bugger, mate.
No. Personally, I'm confident.
West Ham are in the last 16 of Europa League. We're in the top four. We're in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. We're about to enter the FA Cup. And every time I ask you, how you feeling, mate? You're like, oh, I feel like shit.
No, I feel confident. However, I think like we've played a couple of teams recently where I'm like, they are like teams we generally struggle against.
Yeah.
And Burnley are one of them. Like, you know, I'm sure Chris Wood's probably going to be fit tomorrow. I don't know if he's playing.
Well, we're going to talk about him in a minute. But talking about shit and people who feel like shit, let's bring on Mr. Guy who's feeling like shit just now, and that is Lukey boy, David De Gea. How you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm getting there, and I will just warn the viewers that if you start hearing random sounds coming from my mic, I do apologise. It'll be involuntary breathing that I don't know what's going on. So
I think it's his bum. It's his bum area because he's eating a doner kebab right now, trying his best to soak up the alcohol from last night. A lot of alcohol. We're not going to talk about Jaeger bombs. We're not going to talk about Zambucas. We're not going to talk about high potent beers because that might make him feel a little bit sick live on the stream. And while we're at it, you know, this might generate more subscribers because we're on our road to 10,000. Hit that subscribe button. We just need 4 more. I don't know how we're going to do it live on the screen. If that means you have to go to other people, phone up your mum, your dad, your auntie, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your nan, Burnley fans, Stan from Turf Moor House, subscribe to the channel. You name it. Everyone just get on there, subscribe to the channel and get us over the 10K barrier because we'll do a live, really interactive, fun show when that happens. And it will be, you honestly, trust me, it will be worth your while. That is the live counter, by the way. But lads, I've done enough talking right now, and we're always here to talk about the opposition as well. And I think it's the right time to bring on our opposition fan. So let's talk Burnley. Welcome, Dan from Turf Moor House TV. Dan, you weren't the last time on. You weren't part of the Turf Moor House TV family, but you now are. So tell us what's happened and what you're up to, mate.
Yeah, so I was obviously part of a gruesome twosome on the cricket field end, and basically differences of opinions sent us both in separate ways for the way that we wanted it to go. One of us wasn't happy with all the YouTube stuff. I wanted to sort of branch out into YouTube and podcasts and stuff like that. So it just ended like that, really. And 10 years of friendship, pretty much even probably longer, just ended up down the shit pan. So,
sorry, mate.
So yeah, off the back.
I didn't expect you to go that deep in it. Sorry.
Oh,
sorry,
mate, it's great. It's great. It's just one of those. It happens. You know, you grow up, you realise, and it's just one of them things. So I thought, sod it, I'm going to branch out on my own. My last name's Morehouse. The stadium's Turf Moor. It fits. It works. Let's go for it.
It was written in the stars.
Threw it out there. Exactly. Threw it out there and thought, give it a go. See how it takes off. And yeah, I've enjoyed it. Like I say, I'm just here to talk football. And nobody likes Burnley, as I get a lot. Nobody likes Burnley, but you, Dan, I can tolerate. So I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, listen, I'm sorry for asking the question. I didn't realise it was going to go that
don't
way.
Worry about it.
The way you described it, you actually described our channel, the way that we all feel about each other, the way that me and Stell feel about each other. I mean, we're all going to fall apart extremely soon. all behind the scenes. We argue. We come on and just put face to face and pretend we actually like
Anton,
each
wait
other.
till you hit 10k and everybody wants a piece of the cake,
Well,
mate. That's when it'll all go tits up.
You've just listen. I'm not going to lie to you, right? You've just brought it to my attention, so I'm just going to bring it to every single person's attention right now. Oh no! What's happened? It's just dropped live. Who's doing that? Someone's at me. No way. Who is it? Who's that?
YouTube have just had your pants down.
Oh, there we go again. He's going to do it live. Someone's doing it live when we're on it right now. Honestly, someone's teasing me. It was at 10 2 seconds ago. I swear to God, it was at 10. It's Jordan. Sorry. Where is he? I know this is a live preview. There we go. Look, that's what he says. Of course not. When he hits 10k, I'm going to unsubscribe them both again. Come on, Jordan. Don't tease us. Do it. Go on.
Okay. I've got the missus sat next to me. Go on your YouTube, type in West Ham Network and subscribe right now. Right now. As soon as you do it right now, they will hit 10k. Let's do it.
Still is deleting them on the slide.
West Ham Network.
Oh, yay! Whoop, whoop.
It's done. Oh, hey.
Thank you very much for all the support, of course. But listen, we're here to talk about Burnley. Talk to me, mate. I mean, what's been happening in the Burnley world?
Not a lot. We're all miserable bastards still around here. Not changed much. But yeah, no, it's just been typical Burnley, hasn't it? Start the season ridiculously poorly. We continued our form from last season by, getting a foothold in the game, going 1-0 up and then losing from winning positions. So, yeah, as I said, it's typical Burnley performances, but we're coming to that time of the year now where we start to put a run of results together and it saves our arse come the end of the season. Now, I'm not saying that starts tomorrow. Of course, I'm not. If it doesn't start tomorrow, then Wednesday it better do against Watford. But who knows? As I say, the story of our season so far has been so up and down. And last season for me, there were 3 worse teams than us. This season, we're one of them 3, and I do fear for us this season.
I was going to bring a kind of, one win in your open 14 matches in this season, Premier League season so far. 10 points have left you in 18th place in the table, level on points with both Newcastle and Norwich City. But Sean Dyche has been at the club for such a long time. He knows exactly what he's doing. Do you think he's going to have enough in his locker to get you out of this situation you're in, like he has done, and progressed you as a club like he has done over the last however many years he's been there?
I mean, a lot of people look at the fact that, you've only got to look at Norwich, with Daniel Farker. They stuck by him and they went down and they came back up, but it didn't work. I mean, we went down, we went up, went down under Dash and then came back up, got European football. I think at the moment, Burnley's in a transitional period. Last season in January, we got a new board. The old board were bought out. And, it's all about trying to make these like small gradual changes. But fingers crossed Dash is backed. I hope he is because, we saw that at the start of this season, he had a little bit more money to play with. Last season, he probably had, change from a father. But fingers crossed we can get something a couple of editions in January. We all know it's a tough window. But Dash has signed a new 4-year deal. So do I believe that he's the man to take us forward? Yeah, of course he is. We've been there. I were on Jake's channel earlier and Jake said to me, would you sack Dash? If you had the choice, would you sack Dash and stay up or keep Dash and go down? And honestly, I chose go down and keep Dash because we've done it before where we've gone down and come back up. Why not? Yeah. Sometimes just trust the process. The thing is, as I said, the squad is a transitional period. We've had the same starting 11 for the last 30 years, pretty much. That's how it feels anyway. Honestly, I'm expecting Jimmy McIlroy to come on tomorrow. That's how bad it is. It's ridiculous.
Phil Barkley's still knocking about.
Nah, only underground football. That's about it now. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I want to bring to your attention a player, but I'm going to ask it. I'm going to bring Matt and Luke into the equation just now. A player that we know very well, because he loves to come up and play against West Ham, and you always kind of fear this game in particular. Chris Wood, who's scored 7 goals in his 8 Premier League games against West Ham, more than he has versus any other side. He scored 4. Has scored in all 4 of his appearances against West Ham at Turf Moor in the competition. Matt, how do you feel about that stat?
You just, as I said at the start, I didn't know Chris would fit because no matter how Burnley are playing, when he plays West Ham, it always finds a way to put the ball in the back of the net, like header, tapping, volley. Like we have them players that just always score. Friggin' Malpai is one of them, and he barely scored this season. We played Brighton the other day, popped up with a goal. I don't know what Chris Wood's stats are this season, but if you want an easy bet tomorrow, cheeky one, probably Chris Wood to score at any time.
He's on three goals so far in the Premier League this season. But there is, and I'll come back onto Chris Wood in a second, but I want to bring in Mr. Lukey Boy if he's able to talk and not spew at the same time. Maxwell Cornet.
Really hard, mate.
Maxwell Cornet has came into the equation for Burnley this year. He's got 5 goals in the Premier League. But Dan, before I come to you, I want to ask Luke about, the threat. I'm hearing rumours and murmurs that maybe Cornet might not make the game tomorrow, which I think is a good thing for West Ham. But look, what's your thoughts on the kind of attacking line and the history between West Ham and Burnley as of late?
Well, you're talking about Cornet. If he's out, I'm slightly less hungover because I was actually worried about him. I think he's been brilliant for Burnley. Don't get me wrong, I don't watch him all the time. I've mainly just seen his goals and a few of the things he's done this season. But he, the man that plays for Umbro and not for Burnley, he seems to be, pretty decent since he's come into the club, and he's someone that is he a left back, Dan, or is he a left winger?
He's sort of a left. I'll meet you in the middle. Back. Probably a left wing back.
So basically, he's a bit of a Masuaku sort of thing,
Yeah, it's sort of utility in a way. Sort of utility where, to be fair, at Lyon they was using him originally at left wing, I think he started at left back. They moved him then to left wing, and they were a bit short up top, and they thought, he looks a bit dangerous out on the flank. So they played him up top a couple of times, but naturally he's meant to be a left back. But for Burnley, he's been playing on the wing or up top with Chris Wood, so it seems to be working. I mean, he's give us another option, definitely.
Yeah, because I do like the way he plays. It's funny because I like that Dwight McNeil who plays for you. He's like a very skillful player. And it's almost like, I think, because he moved to the right wing and Cornet has gone to the left wing or something like that. I'm not too sure how it's worked out. But they're both still skilled. But I was sort of thinking the other day, I was thinking, well, because Chris Wood always decides to score against West Ham and no one else in the league at all, it's quite remarkable when you start getting a player who come out of nowhere for a team like Burnley who have got this kind of tag of a long ball, old school football team that don't play nice, pretty football, and it's coming and some of the bangers that he scores at corner. He scores some really, really great goals. I think he's been in the goal of the month competitions a few times. He's been unlucky not to win the award, in my opinion. But he's changed their demographic for me. Now, if he's out tomorrow, I'm sure Burnley will try and find another way of getting Ashley Wood to score or Chris Wood. But I think he's a great player. And to be honest with you, West Ham are kind of looking for a left back as cover for Creswell or stash competition. And football's a bit of a dog-eat-dog competition. And if Burnley did end up going down, I wouldn't mind taking him from Burnley at all. I don't know how much you buy him for? You buy him about 10,
about 13.5 million if you in English money anyway. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, yeah,
it's dirty money. I don't know how much, but
when it comes to your forward line, and the fact that we've gone on, I mean, in the 14 games you've played this season, you've scored 14 goals, you've conceded 21, but you do have players there that are capable of getting on the score sheet, in particular against West Ham. So we've talked about it, Cornet and Chris Wood. What's your thoughts on them this season? How much of a miss would it be if Corney wouldn't play tomorrow? And how would Burnley replace him for the game against West Ham?
Right, to break it down about Corney, it's a little bit different, really. It's sort of, you see how well Man United play together when Ronaldo's not starting. They sort of, they've got that team shape, they're playing really well, and then Ronaldo comes into it, and all of a sudden, it's almost like 10 other players go, well, we don't have to work as hard because he'll bail us out the shit. And it sort of got like that with Burnley. Cornet's in there, and we think, right, we've now got a player that runs into the channels, gets into space and things like that. And I don't know why off camera I'm talking with my hands, I'm doing this. But honestly, when you've been so used to having 11 stiff robotic idiots, right, pump a long ball, it's so nice to have something different.
Yeah.
To have something different is class. And I don't even I think first couple of games, Burnley were like, whoa, are you expecting me to chase that, mate? Are you joking? But he's doing really well, and it works for us. And another side note to that is it's took some of the workload off McNeil, because we was always looking at, McNeil, you're that creative spot to get it forward, try and get him cut inside, play it to Wood and things like that. But now we can play with that one striker. Wood can play up there on his own, and we sort of use McNeil and Cornet to sort of come in and play inside forwards in a way. So they're almost like naturally wingers, but cut inside and play like a right side and a left side of the Iron Robin role in a way. Not that we play that sort of football, but But yeah, he's definitely given us a different angle to look at. We've tweaked formation a little bit. We've dropped the 4-4-2 every now and again. I think Dash is experimenting. He's gone 4-4-1-1 instead. So, don't change the habit, Dash. Don't worry. Don't tinker with it too much. But yeah, Cornet's been an absolute breath of fresh air, and we will lose him, but we will definitely recuperate the money, double it, triple it, because that lad is class, and he's still only 24.
Wow. Do you think on that quickly note? Do you think if Sean Dyche was given a big transfer bucket, say, would you think he would buy more players like Cornet, or do you think he'd buy a team in kind of the way that Moyes did when he brought in Souček and Sefal? They weren't skillful players, but they would do the job, and they still do the job now. Whereas it seems to me like everyone's kind of got this idea that if Dyche had money, he'd just go and buy a load of burly blokes from the lower leagues who just, long ball and do that. But then he comes out of left field and you buy a guy like Cornet, who everyone's going, well, where does he come from? Why Burnley go out and bought him? Because he doesn't play the way that they. That's the impression that I get of other people when they talk about Burnley. It's like, well, he's a cut of something different for Burnley, and I think to myself, well, with Burnley fans, if Dyche had 50 million, I don't know how much your transfer kitty is normally, but if he had a good amount of money, do you think he'd bring in players more of the ilk of Cornet, or do you reckon he'd just keep buying like Chris Woods, for example, or would it make a difference, sort of thing?
I think it would make a difference because, as I say, with the new board, they believe in what Dyche is doing, and we all know what Burnley's like in a transfer market. They don't look further than the end of their nose. I'm surprised they're not still sniffing around for outcasts from Bury, to be honest. We've started delving into the foreign markets, and for me, that's the way of football now. If you're going to find a gem, you've got to look abroad, and you can't look in the Championship anymore. Because one player has one decent season and they're asking 30-40 million on your back. No chance. You can't nurture a young talent anymore. You can't find a Jamie Vardy for $1 million. No chance. So to get someone abroad that, for me, it was strange with Cornet anyway. This guy's playing for Lyon, Champions League football, and comes to a team that pretty much plays football on a cul-de-sac. It's like, what's going on? Like, what the heck is going on? So I'm just riding the wave. I mean, I can't think of many foreign players that have been to the turf and been successful, apart from probably Cornet and Stephen Defoe.
Yeah,
it's amazing. That reminds me of when we signed Tevez and Mascherano. Actually, I think that was kind of along the same things, because we were so used to bit part players who might not make it, and suddenly these two come out of nowhere. Like, we've had good players in the past, don't be wrong, but the way that they come in and then to have a relegation season and where they needed to, it was almost like just left for them to score the goals. And then Mascherano didn't even play, but for the whole season, and Hayden Mullins got into it over him. It was quite interesting. The way you're talking about it now it's brought back memories of me about from 2006. God, how long ago was that now? 2007.
God, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But no, sorry, I'm waffling on. But yeah,
no, it's fine. No worries. Well, listen, what we want to do is take a look at what happened the last time the two clubs met. And that was a turn up for the books as a West Ham fan. We go 1-0 down thanks to a penalty from that man himself, Chris Wood. And then we turn the game on its head completely and walk away with 3 points at Turf Moor. Matt, your memories of that game and what kind of game do you expect against Burnley? Do you expect a similar game, or do you expect it to be any different?
I don't know, because I think if I remember that game, Antonio come back from injury we wasn't expecting him to play.
Yeah,
I think he came back and he scored 2 goals in the first half, and then I don't really remember much offered either way after. I think it'll be a hard game tomorrow. I always think of Burnley as a well-drilled team, and maybe more last season. I don't know how we progressed this season, but last season we did seem to struggle a bit against the teams that let us have the ball.
Yeah,
we were more of a counter-attacking team ourselves, and I don't know, but I don't expect Burnley are going to come out and try and dominate 70% possession against us to let us play our way.
First 20 minutes, Matt. Probably the first 20 minutes. We've started trying to get a foothold at the start of the game. We started to sort of get the ball down, play a bit of expansive football, and then after 20 minutes, because we're not used to it, we're blowing out of our arse and chasing a game. So,
yeah.
Well, we haven't started games recently, so we're more of a second half team this season. So the first 20 minutes might be good for you.
Do you know what, that game? Actually, I think it made me realise that West Ham has got a totally different mentality now. So previous seasons would have conceded that Chris Wood penalty and then completely gone into our shell, and you could have done us about 3 or 4-0.
Yeah.
And then immediately after he scored that penalty, we come back and scored a goal. We at least looked up for it. And now, per se, look at the Chelsea game at the weekend. I was watching the game on TV, and Chelsea scored the goal, and almost about 30 seconds later, the crowd were going to West Ham saying, "Come on back, lads! Give it another go." And that's how much our mentality has changed.
And we had a straight after the goal that they scored, we had a ball cleared off the line. Like you're saying, the mentality is 1-0 down. The old West Ham is you can potentially feel like this is going to end in a defeat, but right now you have no idea if this is going to end up in a draw, a win to West Ham, or a really close net game until the end. Burnley have won 4 of the last 7 league games against West Ham as well. It's that kind of game, and we do turn around and say, if a team's struggling, up steps West Ham, but there is that element of consistency right now in our team. And we are playing with a consistent method. We're playing with a consistent, mindset, which is never say die. Really, Dan, there's another player I want to talk to you about. It seems to be a player we talk to you a lot about, and we always talk about, because the rumour mill goes wild. In particular, it's going wild again because West Ham are facing injury problems in our central of defence. We're hearing murmurs. We don't know if they're true. We hear originally Tarkowski wasn't interested in coming down to London. However, we're hearing that might be changing. I don't know what you know, but what is your thoughts on Tarkowski and moving forward?
First and foremost, we all know what the rumour mill's like. It goes absolutely crazy season in, season out. But for me, the position we're in, we do not sell. Personally, we do not sell Tarkowski in the winter window. Dash needs to sit him down in an office and say, "Listen, if you don't want to sign a new deal, that's fine. That is absolutely fine by me. But whatever you do, keep us up this season. Help keep us up. And you can go at the end of the season on a free, not a problem. But to lose him middle of a season when we're already knee-deep in the shit as it is very harsh, no matter what the price tag. So, yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, you're sniffing. Leicester are still sniffing because their defensive walls and stuff. Newcastle, as I say, they've got money to flash about. I don't know. I mean, Tarkowski will go on to better things. Of course he will. But right now, for me, let him go on a free at the end of the season, and let's keep hold of him till we're potentially safe.
Do you think there's a genuine opportunity, though? I mean, we are in the market. We have clearly said physically, we've all heard it from the owner's mouths that Tarkowski was an option. They were never going to pay the fee that was originally asked for from Burnley last summer, I think it was, or last winter window.
It screams David Moyes, though, Anton. It screams David Moyes to go in for someone like Tarkowski and wait. He's waited long enough. This has been probably gone on for 2 or 3 seasons now, and now he's waited for long enough, and he's thinking, right, I don't even have to spend money if I can wait till the summer.
Yeah.
If I can wait till the summer, I'm going to have a player that I could potentially still make a return on if he comes in and is an absolute beast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's one of those, and it won't surprise me though with West Ham if you try giving us Ogbonna, as a flaming backhanded. There you go.
What an injured Ogbonna?
In a minute. He's a bit broken in a minute.
Yeah, he is. Dan, I'm going to bring your attention to the last time out when you played Newcastle. You got beat 1-0. This is your starting lineup that you put out against them. What, if at all, any changes do you physically see happening? Of course, we're hearing in the chat that we think some people are thinking Cornet is definitely out. I'm hearing that there's a 50-50 chance that he may make it. I don't know what you know, but what do you think?
Yeah, Dash said, and I quote, outside chance of Cornet playing. Right. Ben Mee could potentially be back because Ben Mee's also been out with a shoulder injury, so fingers crossed he'll be back in the fray. Whether he is or not, I don't know. As I say, he did say with it being a shoulder injury, it's not as worrying. Obviously, with Cornet being, your feet pretty much as a footballer, you talk with your feet anyway. So, this could be one of those where Burnley set up ridiculously defensively because they haven't got sod all going forward because that one man in Cornet is out, and it just be either an absolute dog shit game or an absolute thumping from you guys, to be honest. With Cornet in the side, as I say, we're a different animal. We really are, and it's horrible to say that one player, changing the team. I mean, I look at your side, and it worries me coming up against Antonio. He's been an absolute baller against us, to be fair.
Yeah. So
he worries me. The form of Lanzini this season's been quite scary as well. And looking at some of your youth prospects as well in that game against Spartak, I mean, wow, you've got some real gems for the future in there as well.
Yeah, we really do. Dinamo Zagreb, it was, but
not Spartak. I don't know why.
No, that's cool. But yeah, we do. We absolutely do. So I take it then, is it going to be a defensive Burnley side that West Ham will face tomorrow and try and catch us on the counter? Is that what you're kind of expecting Deitch to kind of to go at the game like?
Yeah, I'd expect him to be quite defensive. Try and, as you said, try and get on the counter. Use what we've been good at, which is try and abuse the aerial threat. Set pieces is another thing that fingers crossed we can get on the end of. But again, it's as the comment says, Goodmanson, another player that's pretty much decent this season. He's managed to keep himself fit, but again, as he said, inconsistent. One good game 1 week and one bad game the next. That's the story of us. Even when you said earlier about the previous game, it was 2-1. We went 1-0 up. We lost the game. It's just one of them. It is one of them, and I don't know. I'm excited for the game tomorrow. Of course, I am. I love it again when we play West Ham. It's always a tasty affair. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We need a reaction from that Newcastle defeat.
Yeah. Sometimes they're the kind of tough games that they're the ones that we should watch as West Ham fans, as ones when opposition.
You said it though. That West Ham were the team that were the ones that used to say, and here comes West Ham. We've been that. We were the one that gave Norwich their first point. We're the one that gave Newcastle their first 3 points. So why not? Let's give you 3 points and make you go back in front of Man United again, because that's the sort of shithouses we've been all season. So.
Steve Tiley's saying Tarkowski, his wife doesn't want to move south. Apparently, that's the rumor. I don't know, but I don't know if things are going to change, etc. But let me read some stats to you before I ask you your predictions, and then us three will go on in a West Ham tangent. Burnley have played 14 games this season to West Ham's 15. They've won 1 game to West Ham's 8. They've drawn 6 to West Ham's 4. They've lost 6 to West Ham's 4. Burnley have scored 14 to West Ham's 28, and Burnley have conceded 21 to West Ham's 19. Burnley have got 2 clean sheets to West Ham's 3 clean sheets. So on the basis of that then, Dan, I'm going to ask you for your predictions for tomorrow's game.
As defensively as I think we'll set up. I just think all the games have been pretty close between us, and I'm going to sit on the fence, and I'd take a point. I would take a point, so I'm going to go for 2-2. I'm going for a Desmond.
Everyone loves a Desmond these days, don't they? Everyone does.
Yeah, not me.
Absolutely. Dan, who is the one West Ham player you fear the most?
I don't think you can look past the former Lanzini for me.
Yeah.
Lanzini's form this season has been absolutely phenomenal. Like even you as fans must have thought that he was dropping off a little bit. And then all of a sudden, this just like resurgence has just come from nowhere.
Absolutely.
And he's been absolutely brilliant. So, I'm
not going to lie to you, Dan. I think all the lads will say, and Luke will agree, but for me, quickly, it's when Payet left the club, you saw a bit of a decline with Lanzini. And every now and then, you saw a glimmer of hope. He picked up a bad injury. Then you saw a bit of glimmer of hope that he would maybe find form again every now and then. And then he would dip again, and he would always step up and score a really important goal for West Ham. Every season, he got an important goal for West Ham, but he was never consistent. But he seems to have found a little bit of consistent form. Moyes seems to know how to manage him and play him. Moyes seems to know how to manage a lot of players. Look, what were you going to say there? Sorry.
I was going to say he was part of the Payet Troupe when he last season the bowling. He was very, very, very good. He was probably one of the quite underrated, because Payet was so highly rated that he could do probably just as much as Payet did in the middle, creative-wise, but wasn't getting the plaudits. And then he left, and then he took Lanzini a while to get into his rhythm, but then Moyes took over, and he made Arnautovic our top striker, our now Antonio, and they had quite a good link-up. But you always sort of felt like it wouldn't be a consistent spark, but he might score a good goal out of nowhere, or might do a bit of creativity. But he went to the World Cup 2018, and they reckon Messi was saying to the coaches, "How have you not got this guy in before now? How has he only just been called up now? Because I'm really impressed with him." And then he got a bad, I think it was ACL injury in training just before the first game. And
it was actually he was supposed to. Was he not supposed to go with Argentina?
That was what
Argentina squad, wasn't he?
And that was what it was to while he was training for Argentina. And apparently the coaches said that the injury he had, you either never play again, or you play at not a high level. I think Falcao had the injury that he had, and he never come back to be the same player as he was. And so this season, because we're in the Europa League, we've managed to have almost two separate teams for the Europa League and the Premier League. And he's been playing in Europe, and that's where he's started to get back his form. And literally over the last 3 or 4 games, Benrahma hasn't really, in my opinion, been at the top of his game since he was at the start of the season. And people have gone, right, drop Benrahma, play Lanzini instead. And Lanzini is also, when he came into West Ham, was a winger / attacking midfielder, but he's actually dropped back into a deeper role. So he's more of a connector now. He doesn't really tackle as much, but he does do more. He supplies the passes. And in a Chelsea game was like seeing a Lanzini of the first season we had him at West Ham, because he was everywhere. He was pushing past players. He was almost like the Lanzini back. When you think about it, it's about 5 seasons, at least 3 or 4 seasons where you go, only now is he again starting to show how good he was and what a player could have been in 2018. So he hasn't been like it all the time, but I'm just really happy and glad for not only him but the club that he's just started to find his form again, which is great for us.
No, that is good, because at the moment that he is like shit in a field. He's everywhere. He's literally the guy's class. The guy is class.
Who's the one player we need to fear the most? I know we've spoke about a few, but who is the one player? I mean, I know who I fear the most, but who's the one player, in your opinion, Dan, we need to keep an eye out for?
The fact that Cornet's touch and go, it would have been him.
Yep.
It would have been him, but the fact that he's touch and go and we don't know whether he will make it or not. Dash might be an absolute arse and just say, no, he's not. And then team sheet comes out and it's like, hey.
Yeah, he's there.
But you can't rule out Chris Wood. No matter how inconsistent Wood's performances have been this season, you can't rule him out. Especially, if you're a stat man and you love the stats, then you can't not put money on Chris Wood to at least bag in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Dan, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you back on. I don't know how many times it is now. It's definitely over 3. I think it is, and it'll be plenty more. So hopefully we'll have you back on.
Oh, is it not like Soccer AM? Do I not get like a match ball signed or what?
Well, listen, we're gonna bring something to the table actually with regards to that. We've got mugs. We've got plenty of mugs. We buy merchandise and don't sell it because we don't advertise it. No word of a lie. We don't advertise it anywhere. I've got shed loads of mugs in there.
You don't need anything. You're drinking a beer of Moretti, mate, right now. That'll be.
Yeah.
You think of that as your winning.
Beer glasses. You never know. You never know. Yeah. But listen, Dan, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I'm going to wish you all the best after tomorrow's game.
Of course.
And all the best, mate, and stay safe. And I hope we can continue going to the stadiums. Touch wood. Long may that continue. And you were obviously here for a very important show, because we hit the 10K whilst you were on. Look at Matt.
Well deserved.
Last very quick words. Very quick words. You want to say it, Dan?
I'll say it. I'll say I'll try and get hold of that beer that me and you were talking about last time, because I've got to try it. It sounds very hungover causing, but worth it. So it'll be.
It's decent. It's decent.
Well, do you know what, Dan? We are going to send you a mug. There you go. Do you want a West Ham mug, Dan?
Why not? Why not? I mean, I've had plenty of mugs in my time. I mean, luckily I found somebody else that's decent, but I've had plenty of mugs in my time, so why not?
Send me your address, mate, on Twitter. I'll get a mug sent out to you, and there you go. And then that could be.
Will do. Sweet.
Matt, any last words?
And
of course. Brief.
Stick with Dyche. I mean, you might be down there now, but there's a lot worse teams. Yeah. I've seen some of the games this weekend, and Newcastle were awful, Norwich were awful, Watford look like they're down again as well. So yeah, you should be all right. You'll get your run again going soon. Just hopefully not tomorrow. You always get one result. I'm
not too fussed. If we get it on Wednesday, against Watford, I'll be happy. I mean, that's pretty much the perfect game to go out and get 3 points against. So if we don't, then Skybet won't just be taking money off there; they'll be taking my team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan, mate, thank you very much for joining us, and stay safe. And I'll speak to you obviously after. Thanks for joining us. Cheers, mate.
No worries. Thanks for having me on. Take it easy, guys.
Cheers,
Bye.
Nice one.
There you go, lads. Another great away fan. Hope you've all enjoyed that. Yeah, absolutely. And I hope he gets to see this. Cheers, Dan. You stay up. Jack Mack, good to see you, mate. Yes, the lads. Hope you're all having a boss weekend. Thank you very much, mate. Dan, you legend. Cheers, Dan. There you go. Everyone's buzzing about having Dan.
He's got his channel, isn't he? Did we promote his channel
We did, yes, at the start. We did.
Yes, this is. I'm still drunk, mate.
Yes, you are. You are. But listen, whilst you are drunk, I'll give you a little breather. It's time to talk West Ham. Let's get down and gritty with the David Moyes press conference. Right, so it was usually what happens is when you get the David Moyes press conference that comes off the back of a Europa League game. It's a very short press conference, so he doesn't address the full scenario. But I'm going to go through some of the stuff. I've done a show earlier on it. He's talking about belief. He said the players' attitude was unbelievable throughout last season, and this team spirit and everything that comes with needing to be successful comes with winning. We need to keep it going and be on it all the time. We're a newish team trying to keep that consistency level up, but I have to say the players are doing a great job. We have an attitude that we're going to challenge whoever we face. We are positive, want to score goals, and all around we are determined to keep going. If we can get a level of consistency, we can keep picking up wins. He then talks about challenges. He says, my question at the start was, is there any chance we could get 2 more points than last year? Because that would have caught Chelsea. That's the challenge for us, to get another strong season. You can sometimes have a bit of a dip, but I think we've done the opposite and got better. Matt, what do you think from that?
Probably true. I mean, I think, let's be real, I think a lot of pundits had us all down to not necessarily struggle this season, but they all said, you know, with Europe, we weren't going to be there. We'd be down back at mid-table. And fair play to Moyes, he's continued it, pushed it on, and yeah, I don't know what the like for like is at this point compared to last season, but you can see we're there and thereabouts again.
Yeah, I think the difference is, though, I mean, I had it come up in my memories on my Facebook recently, actually. I don't know how many years ago it was, but we were on something like the same points after the same amount of games. And I remember the reason why I think I posted it at that time on Facebook, because I was walking around thinking, Billy, big balls, you know, I was like, look at West Ham sitting in the top 4. But I don't really know if you actually had the real belief that we would finish in the top 4, even though we were in the top 4.
Was that season under Big Sam?
I think 2015, wasn't it? I think it was. Oh, no, 2012. I think it was.
Yeah, we had a season under Big Sam. Might be 14 or 13 or something, when we had Song on loan.
Yeah.
Andy Carroll and Kevin Owen were injured, and he had to play Diamond with Valencia and Sacco up front.
That's right. Yeah.
And we got to Christmas, and we were literally third on 30 something points.
Yeah.
And then after Christmas, Big Sam was just whatever.
But the difference is,
put Andy Carroll back in, and we just died off. But Moyes has changed that momentum.
We haven't hit that amount of consistency, and this is the thing that he talks about a lot in the press conferences, and he talks again about it today. And it is cool, but I've got a question for you, Luke, and it's about the academy. I'm going to read what he says about the academy in particular. He says, it's always important if you can give players opportunities, but you have to earn it. And I have to say the players did, with how the under-23s have started the season. We had the chance to play them. They've all heard from me that I wasn't happy we didn't win the game, and now it's up to them to grasp the opportunity and move to the next level. He then goes on and says, I'm always happy to give young players a chance, but I have to be a realist and say that they must earn the right to play. None of them let us down. They did a great job, but I also would like a situation where I do not have so many on the pitch. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, it's a bit like sort of giving them praise in one hand and then taking it away in the other. In a way that's understandable. I can understand where he's coming from. I don't think having too many, in my opinion, I don't think having too many youth players is a problem on the pitch. That's if they're good enough, they're going to play. As simple as that. I agree with his mantra that they have to earn the right to play. You can't just play just because he's an academy player, so let's put him in. They all played fantastic against Dynamo on Thursday night. They should be proud of themselves. They made the club proud. I just wanted, honestly, I wanted to watch the game just purely because they were playing.
100%.
I wouldn't have had the interest. I wouldn't have had if I wouldn't have had half the interest if Diop and Dawson had been at the back, for example.
That's
because,
what's hilarious, mate. Yeah, I genuinely think that you probably watched that game thinking that it was either your brother or your son or your auntie or your uncle or something. You know what I mean? Like a relation.
It was that connection.
You were there, and that's the connection to that game for me. You know, I wasn't excited about any of the first teamers, to be honest. I was excited about seeing that back four. But what do you take from what Moyes is saying? Do you know? I don't doubt for a second there's a couple of players that could make the step up. I don't think we're going to see them thrown into the Burnley side by any chance. But do you think that's his way of saying, "Well done, lads, but there is opportunity for you"?
Well, it's a complete contrast to when Big Sam played pretty much a whole youth team against Nottingham Forest in the cup and they lost 5-0, and he more or less just shrugged it all off and just went, "Well, that was their chance and they've blown it now, haven't they?" And I've been proved right. It's a completely different match now. It's where you literally have to work hard to get into the team, and to put it into context, he doesn't even play like senior players that he signs from other clubs. He doesn't chuck them. I mean, Safau and Suchek were probably different than that, but he tells everyone that they have to work. It's not a given. So it's great. I just laugh at the fact that he said, "I'm not happy that we lost," and it's like it's just still, no matter how emotional. Because before the game, didn't he? He said, "I'm nervous for him," and I thought, it's kind of sweet in a way. It's because you'd expect a professional manager to go, "No, I'm there in because I know they can do a job, and I'm confident." There's a persona in the media that even if you're not confident, you've got to come across as confident. And yet he was a complete opposite. He was like, "I'm nervous for him." And it was like, it's quite sweet in a way. But I think he's got the right mantra. And he's had the right mantra since he got the job for the second time, because it's all about work ethic for him. But he's still got a winning mentality. So everyone's kind of going, it almost felt like a bit like pre-season game, didn't it? Where you kind of didn't really feel the result was it was a fantastic goal. And that was a deflection and stuff like that. But that is, like I said in the group chat, I said, there's a possibility that if that had been 0-0 for like 15 minutes, say, or something like that, to go into it, but having a smack bang first 5 minutes goal, it was like it might have been a wake up call to the players to go, "Okay, this is what it's like now." You might not get that in the 23s, it might not happen like that, but I think the way that Moyes is doing it is fantastic, and he couldn't have got it any better. It's a shame we lost, but I don't think the result was the most important thing on Thursday night, personally.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right. If you are watching, it is that time of the show where we want you to put in your predictions for the starting lineup. Who do you think will start the game for the game against Burnley tomorrow afternoon? So get the comments in and we will go through who you think should start the game tomorrow. Before we do move on, tomorrow's kickoff is 2 o'clock. So we are going to be trying being live on the channel about 1 o'clock. I'm going to speak to the lads, see who is kicking about from used to. You what?
I've just realised I'm going to be down the pub tomorrow watching it.
There you go. So that's fine. No worries.
I've just got the hangover right away. I'm straight back down and doing the same thing.
Matt, are you about, mate?
Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Work,
we'll talk about it after. But we'll don't worry, keep an eye on the channel. That's why you need to subscribe to the channel. That's why you need to hit the bell notification to know when we do go live on the channel. But we will be on about 1 o'clock-ish anyway, and keep an eye on it there. But let's start building this football team while we are at it. So, Luke and Matt, goalkeeper Areola played midweek against Dinamo Zagreb.
Move on, we know this.
But we know he's not going to play, so let's just cheekily put in Fabianski in goal. Okay, what we don't know is, or what we do know is, he was in light training before the Dinamo Zagreb game. Do we bring him straight back into this lineup in Aaron Creswell? And I'm going to bring out other players to the equation here. We've got Masuaku, and we can't forget, because for me, it was a man of the match performance, Longelo, who played the left back role against Dinamo Zagreb. But we need to be realistic with this. What do we do for this game? Matt?
If Creswell's fit, he goes straight back in.
Yeah. What do you think, Luke? Do you take a risk? Do you take a risk with Creswell on this one?
Oh, was it me? Sorry.
Yeah, well, just either of you.
Oh, no, well, it's so strange because I wouldn't risk a player who isn't fully fit. But then again, since Moyes has taken over, we've always been told that certain players, that come back from injury, they're not fully fit, and then we see them in the starting lineup playing 90 minutes. I personally wouldn't play him. I don't think it's worth the risk. With Burnley's physicality, I can see it being a bit the wrong game to bring him back for. It's cold. It's up north. It's West Ham notoriously we suffer a little bit when we go up north, and we have to have a different mindset. So maybe it's not only that. It's the fact that you're going to bring in two players into the centre back pairing, and they're going to have to sort of work with a player that might not be 100% fit, and you want all your players firing on full cylinders. So I wouldn't personally bring him back, but then I'm not miser, am I?
So what are we going to go with? I mean, do you think there is an outside chance that Longello could start this game tomorrow?
I would love it if he did. Sorry, yeah.
I said for me, if Creswell is fit, he goes straight back in.
Yep.
If Creswell's not fit, I would actually go with Longello.
Right. So what do we?
I personally think.
Let's make the executive decision. Masuaku ain't going to play, so let's bring him over here and do that. It's down
flip of a coin, isn't it? It just depends on the fitness.
Coin, but what are we going to go with? Do we think he will be fit? Yes or no? It's a guessing game now.
No.
The thing is, how long has it been? It's been about 2-3 weeks, isn't it?
It is quite, for what it was, how he got the injury. I'm very suspicious of what he's actually done, because have they come out and said he's actually done a muscle injury? Have they said it's like a back injury?
No, I think
it's smacked his back into the post.
I think it was like an impact one. I think, if I'm being honest with you, lads, I think that he probably will play. If he was in light training before the Zagreb game, the fact he mentioned it makes me think that he probably will be back and he will play. So
you're wrong, aren't you?
I would like to see Longello play, because I think he had a fantastic game against Dinamo, and I think they caused him tried to cause him problems, but he dealt with it really well. But I don't doubt for a second that Creswell is going to be the starting left back for the game. So let's just put him in there. Are we no beating about the bush here and putting Soufal at right back, considering Ben Johnson is injured?
Yeah.
Now, there was people talking about Dawson and Diop. Dawson having a slight strain, but Moyes has mentioned nothing of it. It looks like he is going to be okay. But we do have the two young lads that did play midweek. For me, I'm not going to lie here. I think Alessi's ready to step up now. I really do. I think he's more than capable of being our third or fourth choice defender. But let's be honest, these two ain't going to start. It's going to be the partnership of Diop and Dawson, isn't it?
Just out of interest, you're saying that now, right? Which you might have said at the start of the season as well, to be fair. But would you be saying that if Zuma and Ogbonna still injured?
I definitely said at the start that Alessi is ready to rock and roll for this season.
No, I remember you saying that. I remember someone saying Baptiste as well. Funny enough.
Well, I think people are. I think Baptiste is capable. I do, but he is still only 17. So realistically, when you've got a player of Alessi's ability, who looks like, in my opinion, he could step up to the Premier League, then I think that I think he's the one that's going to be bedded into the first team squad a bit more now from now on, because of his age and because of his style of play. He's a left-footed centre back, and that's what we're going to need. And the fact is, the matter is, he's quite calm, he's quite collected as well. So I do think it will happen. I've been saying that all season, mate. Yeah. But no, I don't think. I think we'll see him in the squad. I think we'll see a couple of the younger players in the squad tomorrow, but I don't think they'll be playing. I think it will be these two. Everyone agree?
Yeah. 4-4-2.
Yeah.
So they're 4-4 at the back. Yeah.
Right, cool. Let's jump into the protecting midfielders. Mark Noble played the other night. Alex Kroll played the other night. Tommy Souček didn't play. He got rested. And Declan Rice also was rested. Are we silly to even suggest that anyone else takes this position apart from these two?
No, for me, it's blasphemy at this point.
So I upset the apple cart.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, completely agree.
I have a sneaky little feeling
You thinking he is?
that he won't start Rice tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
Care to explain yourself, young man?
because if he picks up a ban tomorrow, if he picks up a yellow card tomorrow, he doesn't play against Arsenal on Wednesday. And after Arsenal, we got Norwich.
Well, I'm
So
going to
I
tell you
think he
something
will
right
save
now.
him. Yeah, I think Moyes will save him tomorrow, play him against Arsenal, and then he will take a booking against Arsenal, Mr. Norwich game.
And this is where I will disagree with you again and argue till the cows come home again. You, Matt, I'm ready to argue
yes,
against you.
I'm with Anton on this. I don't know what
because
you've been drinking tonight, mate.
No, I get. No, I think I get the concept of what.
Yeah, no, I get
Matt's
the logic.
saying.
Yeah,
I get the logic, but I don't think Moyes thinks like that anymore, or any West Ham. Like,
Can't.
he is not that kind of manager. Moyes is actually thinking, I want the 3 points now. That's so. So if you think about the Europa League teams we've put out over the games that we've played, how many times did we say Rice shouldn't be playing, Souček shouldn't be playing? How many times was Rice playing and Souček were playing? Every single.
Oh yeah, but
time.
there was nothing else to it. That was just we were like they should be playing as Europe.
But
I'm saying he won't play because you don't need Rice to beat Burnley.
Wow.
And if he gets
wow,
last game, you said last fixture. What was the result last time out? What was the result last time out? We won 2-1.
Hold on.
Who played holding midfield?
Lanzini.
Souček and Lanzini. Rice didn't play. Rice was injured.
You got a point there, to be fair, in a way.
We didn't need him.
You do. Yeah, I can't know, man.
I think tomorrow it'll be Souček and Lanzini.
You think it's going to be Souček and Lanzini? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness! So you think he's going to be playing Lanzini? Now this is something that's interesting. Let me bring this back onto the screen. Okay. So for me, I would have played Lanzini in the position he's been playing because he's playing on form. He's playing consistently well in that position. So I think to consider pushing him back would be a bit of a crazy decision, to be honest, because I don't think that would do him. I get it. I get that's what he did.
Why was Rice out last time? Was it a suspension or was it injury?
He was injured. That was the start of his 6 games injured at the back end of the season.
Oh, of course it was. Yeah, because he had the knee injury, didn't he?
It's also, as I said, because you've even got options now, though. You could play Krau and put Lanzini number 10, or you could play Fornals in that position and have Lanzini in front, and Fornals and Lanzini could swap. But for me, I would tactically thinking over the Christmas period, I would not start Rice tomorrow, so that he's available for the Arsenal game. Make sure he gets booked in the Arsenal game, and then he misses a Norwich game.
Make sure he gets booked in the Arsenal game.
Everyone else does it. Every other team does it. There was, I don't know if you saw it the other day. There was it was like I think it was a Spanish or Italian league game.
Yeah,
and the guy was in, he was going off, and he needed to get a booking to miss the next game, which was an easy game. So he purposely slowly walked off the pitch, started taking his shin pads off on the pitch, started rolling his socks down. The ref was like, "You're taking too long," and booked him. Yeah. And everyone was like, "He literally gave him what he wanted."
Yeah, it's kind of maniacal, actually, when you think of it like that. But
the way the fixtures have worked out, it's miss the Burnley game, play Arsenal, pick a booking, miss the Norwich game.
That's mad.
But you know what? It also wouldn't surprise me, as you said at the start, if he just goes, "No, it's Rice and Souček," and he just backs Rice to not get booked.
Right, I'm going to put it out there, and let's go with the majority. I'm going Rice Souček. Look.
Well, he's just completely blown my world apart because the logic that he's used is actually undeniable. Yes. But I'm going to say he goes with Rice because I think he's got a different mentality now, because you're saying that we can beat Arsenal with Rice and we don't have to beat Burnley with Rice. But I think, like Anton said, that Moyes will look at the Burnley game as just as important as Arsenal, if not more. So you win the winnable games and you can kind of try to not lose the bigger games. But I totally. Do you know what? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and agree with Matt. He's turned me. He's absolutely turned me.
Oh my word! So
I'm
what
going
am
to
I
go.
It's
With
all right.
Suchek
You're going to
and
back me, then tomorrow the team will come out and it'll be Rice and Suchek.
Suchek and Lanzini for me. I totally agree.
Oh my word!
Wow. Well,
I'm just
Matt,
putting. I'm
done
putting
me
a
there,
disclaimer on this show. I'm just letting you know. I didn't say that. If it does happen, that's fine. I'll hold my hand up, but I didn't say it. I'm just putting that disclaimer in there. There you go.
But bearing in
Right,
mind, I am possibly still drunk from last night, so that might be the reason why I have made this decision to agree with Matt this time
Right.
around.
Okay, with that news then, Kroll doesn't start, and you're saying Declan Rice doesn't start. So, where do we go out on the left? Is Pablo kicking back in there?
What happens now?
Because this
Ben
is where
Rumford's
I'm.
starting.
This is where my concern is, and I get it. Put them both in the sim bin. Yeah, I think I might do, Mandy G. Because if you're doing that, that means for me you're going to be playing Ben Rama in the hole, and I don't think Ben Rama's going to play in the hole, mate.
No, I think it'll be more Ben Rama on the left, 4 hours, attacking midfield, Bowen on the right. Standard.
What do you think, Matt?
Those three can change, can't they?
Yeah, I'd say Benny out on the left.
I mean, you're literally changing up everything here.
Not really. Like 2 positions.
I know. It's the Lanzini thing, mate. It's just completely.
Also, I mean,
Anton's
the way that you could actually swap 4 hours on Lanzini. If you're that bothered.
Yeah.
4 hours finished in the holding role against Chelsea, alongside Suchek.
I get your mindset, right? I get your mindset, but what we do have to take into consideration here is, I know what you're saying about last season, but this season he talks about, Moyes consistently talks about consistency. That's what he needs to run through this team, and he will be looking at each game as they come, and each game is, let's get a win over our belt. He won't be looking at last season and going, well, we won this game because we didn't have, we can win this game without Declan Rice. He will be looking at this game going, and people are making the valid point here. Who's going to be the captain? The captain's going to play.
Creswell.
I know that, but when he's fit,
I don't get wrong. What I said, my mentality would be that. However, it would not surprise me in the slightest if Moyes just goes play Rice and he'll back Rice. Rice will get a stupid booking like he's done every booking this season, pulling someone back on the counter, and he'll miss the Arsenal game.
The changes,
and then that'll be Moyes' thing for,
Yeah. These are the changes.
I'm just saying, if it was like Arsenal, if it was like a Man City or a Liverpool, that's what they would do. They would go, actually, we need him more for the bigger game.
Yeah.
Essentially, what that says is, like, bringing him in, you're saying that West Ham can't win without Declan Rice in the team.
No, I'm just saying.
The whole point of 25-man squad is that you should be able to rotate players around.
I don't think he's not saying that. He's not saying
that. No. For me, you need to play your out and out, stand out, starting 11, and for me, that starting 11 is consistent. That's the key word for me. It's consistent. It's not inconsistent. And I'm not saying, Ben Rama hasn't been playing well, so therefore taking Ben Rama out of the hole and putting him in the left just doesn't make sense to me because he's not playing well. Fornals, you could even say, hasn't been playing fantastically well. So in theory, changing his position and putting him in here, to me, doesn't make sense. But the player who has been playing on form is Lanzini, and he's been consistent, and you want him to keep that form up. And that's why, for me, he plays in the hole. Fornals sits out in the left, tries to get back to the best, and you have the 2 players who are best at doing the job they can do and nullifying any threat. And I agree with this comment here. Richard Stevens is saying we need a W tomorrow and therefore need the strongest 11 available. But I mean, there's 2 teams here. I'm going to try and save this up, and then we can put it on the actual screen. What are you going to say? Look, go for it.
I wasn't going to say anything to you. I just laughed because I was just trying to put it all together in my head. I think that's throwing me a little bit, all that. There's a part of me as well that doesn't think that the team is going to look completely different because I don't think Creswell will play. I don't think Creswell will start. So Masuaku will be in some avenue. And really, as much as we can make that team in the midfield what we can, it could all be changed around with someone going in at left back who's different.
Yeah, I would agree. Because if Creswell doesn't start and Masuaku comes in,
you got to think of it.
I could see Rice dropping into the back five.
Yeah, which would
really.
Yeah,
that's how he finished the Chelsea game. Rice went to the right at the back three.
See, it's talked about, but it's almost like now, like you couldn't even imagine putting Rice into the back line because it's like no, Rice in the Rice is the centre back, even though that's where he sort of made his name. But now you're thinking, no, like the furthest you want Rice back is in the holding midfield. That's as far as you want back. But if Masuaku is in and we have a lack of defenders at the back, then it does make sense. So, but that's providing that he plays because, like you said, Matt, the most left field thing in the world, which could cause a complete meltdown on social media, is Rice not starting, which it doesn't scream the new Moyes. It doesn't scream like what the type of thing is that he'd do, because that epic #time comment there, we need to win every game. Doesn't matter if you're Arsenal, doesn't matter if you're Norwich, doesn't matter if you're a mid-table team. You want to win them all, and look. West Ham, in my opinion, got top 6 last season because we beat all the teams under the top 6, and we lost. Not obviously beat them all, but we had good results against the majority of them, and that's what helped us push us on. So perhaps Burnley is looked at as more winnable. So then he plays the strongest team there, and then we go to Arsenal, try and get a lucky 1-0 win or something like that, because they're very strong at home this season, Arsenal. So
but the thing is, they'll look like when again we continue to undersell ourselves as West Ham because Moyes goes to Arsenal and doesn't think we'll get a lucky 1-0 win. I think Moyes goes to Arsenal and thinks, let's take the game to Arsenal and see what we can get out of this game.
No,
that's and I do think that. And I'm not digging you out for it. I just think that's the mentality we've got now. It's someone put in here.
That
GP saying we've beat Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool. It's tempting to drop Rice, keep him fresh for Arsenal, but I don't know if Moyes thinks like that. I genuinely don't think Moyes goes, we've got Arsenal coming and there's Rice, so I'm going to protect Rice because we've got Arsenal. I don't think he thinks that. I wouldn't be surprised, Matt, if he actually thinks the challenging game, and I've just read the stats, and, contradicting because I could read the stats against Arsenal, but in theory, on paper, the challenging game is the Burnley game. These are the games we need to get over the line and win.
There's two mentalities here. Anton's got the new mentality, the Moyes mentality, the one you win every game. Matt's got the old mentality of you try and beat the big boys and you don't really worry about the teams, the thing. And that's not a bad thing. It's just that what you said and the reasons why you said it is so, Burnley Burnley away should be 2-1 there. But Arsenal next game, that's definitely one we've got to win. Whereas now, it seems like every team is the team you have to beat, and I think that's. I totally agree with what you're saying, Matt.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to do something.
I agree with you saying as well, Anton.
We're going to put out the 2 11s. This is the 11 that Matt and Luke have predicted that will start for the game tomorrow. They've gone with a flat back 4 of Creswell. Possibly, we're basing this on the fact that Creswell's fit. Diop, Dawson, Soufal. We're going to go with Lanzini and Souček protecting, just like they did when we beat them last year. Benrahma out in the left, Fornals in the hole, Bowen out in the right, and Antonio up top, and Rice sitting on the bench. But I get it, I get the concept behind why we would consider doing that. This is the lineup I think will happen. I don't think Benrahma will start. We'll sit with the back same 4. Rice and Souček will protect, Lanzini in the hole for consistency, Bowen out in the right, Fornals out in the left, and Antonio up top. So get your comments in. Let us know your thoughts on our starting 11. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to ask you to put in your predictions in the chat just now.
feel like I'm back out clubbing now with that music on.
Mandy G's saying playing Rice forces other teams to play an extra centre midfield player, which allows us space down the sides. Richard is saying rather be hanging onto the shirt tails of the top 3 than sucked into a gaggle of clubs behind us that are gaining form. And I do agree with that comment. I do think Moyes will look at this game tomorrow and go, we need these 3 points more than any of the 3 points ahead of the game. He constantly says, focus on the next game. where is it here? Vinay saying beating Burnley puts pressure on Arsenal. They would need the win. A draw would be enough for West Ham. Not a bad lineup, but Lanzini will have to work twice as hard without Rice.
It's a good point as well.
Yeah, there's so many people here talking about the youth team as well. Like people are saying that some players are ready to rock and roll. Some people are saying that they're not. Mikey Boy saying, rather, I think Anton's right, going for a repeat of last game, 2-1 win. Richard Stevens saying 2-1 West Ham win. Rice needs to play every game. He's got the stamina, skill, enthusiasm, leadership. What else can I say? From Peter Jones. Vinay is saying 2-0 to West Ham, an ugly game with Antonio scoring 2 ugly goals. GP saying 3-0. Glenn Marshall saying 3-1. Howard Ailes is saying 4-0. Lanzini penalty. Masuvaku hat-trick. Lee Vasallo 3-0 West Ham. Moyes wants to win every game. Come on, your hands. We're massive. Steve Tyler saying 3-1 us. Bowen, Antonio and Fornals. Freno is saying 2-1 West Ham. Think we should give Aji a run. I don't see it for tomorrow's game, personally, to be honest. Give Perkins a chance, perhaps. I think he may be on the bench. I think you might see him on the bench. Jamie Pax, think West Ham will win it 2-0. Lanzini to score, Antonio to score an open play header goal. There you go. Very particular. So people have given us their predictions, so I'm going to throw it over to you, Matt. What's your predictions for tomorrow's game?
3-1.
Go big
or West Ham.
Go home. 3-1. Good on you. I'll take that right now, mate. I'll take that right now.
Because Chris Woods will score, so
yeah,
3-1.
Just thinking the same thing.
Right, go on then, Lucky Boy. What's yours?
Well, just a comment down there saying 2 ugly goals. I don't know what an ugly goal is. What's an ugly goal? I know there's beautiful.
I don't really care. I don't care if we. You know what? I don't care if we win tomorrow and it's 2 frigging own goals. Right? If we win 2-0, it's 2 own goals.
Tarkowski going goal would help. I'm going to go. I forgot last season was only 2-1. I thought it was 3-1. So I'm going to go with 4-2. Actually, 4-2 West Ham.
Ooh, he's going for goal.
I can see if Cornet plays, he'll get a goal, and Chris Wood will obviously get the other goal. But I think we scored 3 against the Chelsea team with one of the best defences in the league before that game. And I know Masuaku scored that cross/shot. It was a bit out of nowhere, but if we can do that to Chelsea with a goalkeeper like Mendy, we can do that to Burnley or anyone. To be honest with you, not just do it with Burnley. So I can see Bowen getting a goal, and maybe Masuaku with another screamer. But Antonio might get a goal. But Antonio's due a goal, isn't he? Let's be honest with you. As long as he scored a goal. So 4-2 for me.
I'm going to go with a 2-1 West Ham win tomorrow. Let's just get the points, get the job done. Might be an ugly game, but who cares? Let's just get the ball and let's go there, get the ball over the line, get the 3 points, and that will do the job. Richard Stevens says, love it, Matt. You have redeemed yourself. Mandy J saying 1-0. Levi Salah saying, freaking hell, Matt. No Desmond today. Vinay saying, ugly goal, scramble in the box, and Antonio scores in his name, 1 on the back of his head.
It's funny. Do you know what? It's funny how everyone, when you ask to describe an Antonio's type goal, no one says a clean cut shot. They always go bounces off his head or his orifice or his ear or his comes off.
Don't forget
a knee.
Don't forget his first goal for West Ham.
I know.
That was that Southampton game, wasn't it?
We're talking about one of our most the one.
Top 4 in Premier League history.
If he's not playing, we're going to suffer up top. And you ask someone, what's Antonio like to actually watch? And you just think, it's just incredible. Because it's that West Ham clips video after the Chelsea game where he had we had the chance to pass to 3 people and he had doing a really stupid skill and then passing it back. It just summed him up. I love him. He's brilliant. He's a great. He's got to play like him.
Absolutely. Right, that brings an end to our preview for the game tomorrow. Make sure you do join us for the match day live. Before I do go, there you go. That's what we've ended the show on. 10,014. When we started the show, we were 5 away. So we've gained 19 in the last hour. So there you go. We'll happily take that, which is good to see. But keep your eyes on
19.
Keep your eyes on the channel because we will be doing something live to celebrate the 10,000 subscribers. So thank you very much for all your support. It's been a rather exciting and stressful roller coaster, isn't it? Really,
it's been everything. Everything you can think of. no one realises that look, personally, I'm gonna say this now, right? I'm probably gonna come across as a bit soft, but I think you deserve some respect, Anton and Matt, because I think you've put in loads of effort. I only turn up now. I'm a bit part player. Honestly, every now and then I'll send a few messages to Anton. He won't even read the text because he's that busy. Tonight I got a message off Anton saying, "Would you like to be on the show?" And I was a bit like, "Oh, I'm too hungover." I thought, no, come on, them two can do it consistently. I can do 1 or 2 videos here and there, and it's great to come back over every now and then. But these two up top, these two here, it's like you're a bit like Declan Rice and Thomas Souček. You're consistent. You hold the back foot, and I think you boys deserve all the praise. And this is De Gea is giving you good praise here. Hungover De Gea is giving you good praise. So well done, lads. I think you deserve all the respect in the world.
Cheers, Lucky boy. Last question I'm going to ask you lot is, Matt, very one-word answers. Who's the West Ham player Burnley should fear tomorrow?
Lanzini.
Who is the Burnley player you fear the most tomorrow?
Cornet, if fit. If not, Chris Wood.
Same questions to you, Luke. Who is the West Ham player they should fear the most tomorrow?
Just before I do that, I've just been reading the comments. I don't mean to say any disrespectful to anyone else that's on the channel. Stell, Rich, and I'm not saying they don't deserve any credit. Because I realise what it sounds like now. It's just like you two running the channel and that's it. No, everyone deserves credit. I'm just saying right now, because I'm with me. Oh, I've ruined it. Right, anyway.
Yeah, it's all right,
yeah, it's all right. Well, if he plays, and I'm constantly singing his praises, and for his goal last week, I'm going to say that Burnley should fear Masuaku. Masuaku's cross come divine finishing Masuaku, and we should obviously we should fear Chris Wood, but if he plays, Cornet is the one that I would fear.
There you go. Brings an end to our match day build-up show, preview show. Make sure you do join us tomorrow for the match day live, and get behind the wet lads from West Ham, and fingers crossed we can get 3 points over the line. I've been Anton, he's been Matt, he's been Luke. This is the West Ham Network. Subscribe, like, and comment, and come on, you Irons. Thank you very much. Take it easy.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, and of course, before we do go, we have to thank the sponsors.